This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Ah, springtime is here. The birds are chirping. The flowers are blooming. The sun is out. And those seeds from your grocery produce are ready for the planting. Join us this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time or 2:30 a.m. Philippine Time to learn some useful tips on starting a garden from scratch.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of our viewers and listeners tuning in with us here in INCRadio, Texas Satellite Studio. It is currently 1:35 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and it is currently April 20th. And I am your host today, Brother Justin Talioka from Austin, Texas. And before we dive into our topic today, let's see who else is with us here. Also here in Austin, Texas, we have Sister Jamie. Sister Jamie, how are you today?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Saturday indeed. Sister Jamie from the locale of Austin, and we have a great topic for you all today. And who else is joining us, Brother Justin?
Let's head to the eastern part of Texas. Sister Wendy, how are you?
Hi, Brother Justin and Sister Jamie. Hi, everybody. I am Sister Wendy from the local of Houston. And indeed, we have a really exciting topic, and the birds are indeed chirping right outside.
Yes, because it is that time of the year, springtime. Even though spring started about a month ago, but I still like to really embrace that. Now, now speaking about spring, that's actually going to be a topic for today. But before we get into that, let's uh, let's check to see what's happening so far in the District of Texas for our segment, CFO in action. So, Kuya Tech, whenever you're ready.
CFO in action in the District of Texas. The brethren in the local congregations of Houston and Sugarland joined together for a local unity games. They participated and enjoyed friendly competition in Scrabble, chess, basketball, and volleyball. This weekend, also in Houston, the CMDPS organization will hold a physical fitness and God's message distribution activity and a family biking activity at our local park. This weekend, there will also be a virtual seminar on effective communication led by the District Bookload organization. And on April 27, brethren from all over the District of Texas will gather in Leon Valley for the District Unity Games Bowling Edition. This is Lizette Manansala for CFO in Action.
Ooh, and those are just some of the updates here in the Ecclesiastical District of Texas. So, to all of our viewers and listeners, keep tuning to INT Radio Texas. I will be sure to give you more updates for the activities here in the District of Texas. And for our topic for today, from grocery to garden, because a lot of us, of course, we buy produce because, yes, it is good for us, but we end up with a lot of scraps, seeds, sometimes even roots. So, how can we make use of these? And that's what we're going to talk about for today. But of course, we can never forget to have our question of the day, which is, what do you love about gardening? So please let us know your answers in our live YouTube chat, and we'll be sure to read them at some point during our show. And also join us in our hashtag challenge. So wherever you're tuning in from, make sure you send us a hashtag where you're from, which is that number sign. In case y'all don't know, I said y'all again. So whether it be hashtag Houston, hashtag Temple, or even hashtag Sugarland, please let us know where you're tuning in from, and we'll see who will win next week. So let's go ahead. And so, Sister Jamie, what else do we have in line for us today?
Today we have, I know that we've got sorry, give me a second here. Um, for today, we will have tips and tricks on how to have a successful gardening uh, from from like your grocery scraps or like produce that you probably didn't get around to. So we'll be presenting on how to garden from our groceries.
All right, let's take a look at the first one that we have here, and let's see. Okay, so and Akuya Tech, if you can hear us, if you can also put some our lovely faces in the view, and while that's being done, so so Sister Wendy, it looks like we have some avocados over here. Have you do you have experience in planting some of these things?
Yes, I do. And again, there are so many different ways to plant all of these. And viewers that are here with us today, please do leave your comments. We'd love to hear them too. But the way that I've tried out and also that I've seen pretty common is you would suspend the seed in the middle, like after you take it out and enjoy the delicious part of the fruit, make a smoothie, or add into scrambled eggs. But the seed itself, you can either use toothpicks, or if you're like me who forgot to buy toothpicks, I went with a creative way, which is when you buy some garlic, sometimes you can have little nets. Just find a way to suspend them over water. And after a while, it will start to root from the bottom. And once it starts to root, then you can either let it grow just a little bit more longer, or you can put them in soil and just kind of enjoy it, watching it grow. Have you, Brother Justin or Sister Jamie, tried these before or want to try it?
I like.
Maybe as sorry, I was just thinking. I think the only time I've ever tried growing a seed was like, maybe a science experiment in elementary school. Do you remember? Do you remember that where you would get this like little like kind of bean sprouts or something? That's the only time I've ever seen it. But I mean, I imagine like when you sprout these avocados, is there and I'm not a gardener, and this is all very new to me. Like after it sprouts, do you then like transfer that to dirt right away, or do you kind of let it root some more before transferring it?
Yeah, well, with the avocado, you can let it grow a little bit more just to develop the roots a little bit more before transferring it. Or if you look at it and it looks sturdy enough, then you can also transfer it as well. Yeah.
But you don't put any rooting solution in it. Like, I know there's a kind of the solutions that you can get, like to root any kind of like if you like maybe take a twig or something. I think there's like a rooting solution. I've only like seen it from my mom, like trying to propagate certain plants. Yeah. So you don't have to for this
Yeah,
instance.
you
Okay.
don't.
Perfect.
Yeah, nature
Sorry,
will
Brother
do its
Justin.
magic or do its work.
Yeah, Brother Justin, I'm sorry I cut you off. But yes, that's the only time I've ever rooted anything was a science experiment in elementary school.
Sister Wendy, I'm just curious, is there anything that you like to make when it comes to avocados?
Oh, yes. So this is a little unorthodox, but avocado with purple yam and almond milk smoothie is absolutely delicious. Like there's just when they come together, it's hard to describe, and so I highly encourage everyone to try it, unless you're kind of allergic to any of the ingredients I
Right.
just.
I have to say, I feel like I remember, coming to this country, I was really shocked that they use avocado in a savory sense, like a guacamole or
I love, I
slice it up,
love.
right? But in the Philippines, or like I guess in Asian countries, it's used more as a sweet or like a dessert type um of dish, or or
Wait,
food or
what's the
smoothie.
dessert?
Yeah, like it'll be like a smoothie. Like I remember
Oh,
in like
okay,
the
okay.
Philippines, like they'll make like avocado shake. So that's why when I came here, I was really surprised that I'm like, avocados are supposed to be in my mind sweet and desserty like, but like guacamole, like I said, guacamole, like and whatever you chop it up and use it as garnish for other dishes. So I was really surprised to learn that like, oh, they use it as a savory component in this country. But I think in other, like I said, I think Asian countries, it's used more as like a sweet component to like shakes, or you can
Mhm.
even bake with avocado. Apparently, like you can use it as kind of like, I guess, like a substitute for dairy or some sort of, or oil for, for moisture or something like that. That's, I haven't tried it, but I've seen like recipes that calls for like a smashed avocado or something like that.
All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the next one. So ginger, I love ginger. So Sister Wendy, so what's the best way when it comes to planting the ginger that we buy from the store?
Yeah, sure. Well, first step, find a healthy ginger. I know when you're going to the grocery store, you see them in all kinds of shapes and sizes. Some are plump looking, like the one looking in the photo, some not so much. And so when you're looking for one, definitely want to find a plump one. And then also make sure to look at the ginger to see if it's what's called nodes. It's not as obvious in the photo, but you will see it looks a little bit different texture from the general ginger skin. So those are where the ginger will sprout from. And so once you find a healthy ginger, make sure there's no fungus or anything on it, and also ones with nodes, you can just place it on the counter. Use it in your cooking, and if you forgot to use it or can't use it in time, it will just kind of sprout naturally. And once you see them sprout, then you can plant them in soil and just make sure the sprouting part is going up, and you don't have to cover the roots fully. So you can just gently put them in, put a little soil around it, and then the sprouting side is going up. And then that should continue to grow.
Because technically ginger is a root. So
That's
when
right.
so when will it be edible after you have planted it? Like, do you like let like a full plant grow before like removing the root, the ginger root out of soil and consuming it? Or how like, is there a time frame for that? I've never tried it, but this is fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's the general idea. So yes, you do. So the sprout, it will grow taller and taller. It will have long shape like leaves. And some say you can make ginger tea with them. I've never tried it before, but that's definitely something interesting. And then once it looks like it's grown about a certain time, it will have like ginger roots down below the soil, and you kind of just have to dig them up and eat it. And you don't have to dig up the whole thing. You can just pick off a little tiny piece. Yeah, and just pick and choose to eat it.
So you're saying that the leaf part of the ginger can also be used as ginger like tea. Is that
That's
what you're saying?
Yeah,
Huh.
that's what I've heard, but I haven't tried it. And so, I mean, if anyone viewing now, like if they have tried something like that, feel free to leave a comment and share your experience with us too. Yeah.
Yes, I do love a ginger tea with like honey and lemon. So
Mhm.
great for your voice. Not that I have a great singing voice, but it definitely helps,
No,
especially in a cold.
yeah. Oh, hi, brother.
Okay, hello, am I here?
Yeah.
Yes, you're there, brother Justin. And well, speaking of like, um, maybe should we read a little bit of comments and see if
Yeah.
anybody has given their tips and tricks
Oh,
or oh
yes,
no, well,
absolutely.
I'm
So
still
who's
presenting.
tuning in
Okay,
with?
great.
So before we move forward, who's tuning in with us, Sister Jamie?
All right, so we have quite a bit of audience this morning. We have Sister Ariane Domingo saying hi from a happy Saturday, everyone tuning in from Houston. Our brother Matt Carl Talent tuning in from Corpus Christi, and then we also have Brother Jeff Domingo. They're using their hashtags, hashtag Houston, hashtag Tomball. And then we also have Brother Roger Lesser Palabasan from Sugarland. And then we have greetings. The happy birthday to Cabarul Eyas and Marcada from the local of Corpus Christi from Brother Jeff Domingo. We also have Brother Danilo Dizon that is tuning in, saying happy birthday as well. And then we have Brother Jay Garcia from Tomball Group Worship Service. Welcome, Tomball. And we have Brother John Caldwell, happy viewing from the local of Universal City. Sister Roselle Ginga from Universal City as well. And we have Sister Priscilla Batan sending us some heart and kiss, heart kisses emoji. Hello, po, Sister Priscilla. Brother Ramel Aquino from the locale of Killeen. Hello, Brother Ramel. We have Brother Edwin G. Happy listening from UC. Wow, we have a lot of UC tuning in today. And we also have Brother Jose Elazar Calvez from the local of Houston. And we also have Sister Mercy Carnes from UC. Again, wow, UC. Use that hashtag UC. You might be the winner for next week. And so we have Brother Dwayne Michael Diocampo from the locale of Killeen, Brother Russell Sprouts from the locale of Houston. And we have, let's see, Sister Liza Caldwell from UC as well, and Sister Blasilda McGeegad from Houston. So I think we've got quite a bit of a competition coming in here with the ones tuning in today. Thank you so much all for tuning in.
All right. Thank you so much, Sister Jamie. And I think the last thing that we spoke about was ginger. Is that right? Okay. All right. So now let's look at the next one, which is green onions. Okay. So, Sister Wendy, so what's the proper way to plant green onions before I get cut off again?
Okay. Well, green onions, again, it is nice and easy. And whenever you bought them from groceries, if you want to just save a little bit part at the end where the white part is, and you'll see like the roots coming out of it, that's where you can save a little bit of it. And once you do that, you just put them in water. I find it easier to put it in water for a couple days to let it adjust a little from shock. I I personally think that maybe plants have their own emotions sometimes, but so let it adjust, and then it'll start rooting as well. And once you see that the roots are growing stronger, then you can transfer it to soil. And so with soil, it does have a little bit of more nutrients from it. And then just make sure to water them well, because green onions do like water. But the rest of them, you can enjoy them in your cooking.
All
Because I
right.
think when you have it in water, it does sprout, right? So when it starts to sprout, you can even cut that off and just put it as garnish or use it in cooking, things like
Yeah.
that. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that because I'm always I always look at recipes that call for green onions, and I always have to keep buying when I go to the grocery store. This is a very great tip. I'm gonna have to definitely experiment on this one.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the green onions, going bad in your fridge. You would have fresh ones just to cut them from the plants that you put in. Yeah.
All right, now let's look at I think this one's my favorite one, blueberries. Okay, so Sister Wendy, so what's the proper way when it comes to planting blueberries?
All right. So blueberries, first, you would smush them a little bit because there are seeds on the inside. I don't know if you could see it on the second photo, but it's very tiny. Or if you have blueberries at home, feel free to just gently cut them open, or smush them a little bit. But once you kind of squish them, put them in a soil. And because blueberries, they like humid, warm temperature environments, and so you can take either, if you have a bottle that you just drink water from and you want to recycle that, you can just cut the bottom of it and kind of cap it so that it creates a nice little tiny greenhouse. And once that's done, you'll see it'll start sprouting. And as it sprouts, just make sure that you move it to a bigger pot.
That is brilliant. Wow. I'm like, I'm not a gardener, so this is so great. Like, I am loving this. I'm gonna have to try this one too.
Please do.
This is
Wow,
great.
I'm learning so much here. Wow, can you do a similar process when it comes to grapes?
I'm not sure. I haven't tried out with grapes, but hey,
Because both blueberries and grapes, they both have like the same texture and shape and size. So, would it be similar?
I don't know, but Brother Justin, if you have grapes at home, feel free to try out the process and see what happens, and definitely let us know.
Okay, all right, and I think this one is gonna be our last one. My brain was about to say purple potatoes, but officially these are red potatoes, which I also love. So, so Sister Wendy, so what's the proper way of planting red potatoes?
Yes. So with potatoes, you would again. pick healthy looking ones. And usually potatoes have multiple eyes on them. So if
They
you
can see?
have, they have 2.0 eyesight.
They're 2020.
Right, exactly. But in this case, they do have eyes everywhere, and if you have a bigger potato, you can always just cut them into smaller pieces so that it's easier to plant. And once you've done that, you can just put them in the soil and gently cover it up. As they grow, like it'll start sprouting. As they grow, you can continue to add more soil so that it will kind of encourage them to generate more potatoes along the side as it grows, and just enjoy them afterwards.
Wow. What okay, so just so that way I know. So when you say eyes, is it those little
The little like
uh,
dimple things,
yeah, are
right?
those the eyes?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, all right. Because I know I've heard words like an ear of corn. At first I was like, corn can hear you? But then when they said it, oh, you're referring to like the entire thing. That's an ear. Oh, okay. And then I'm looking up at the potato and I'm like, where are the eyes? Is it those dimples?
yeah. And if you
Oh,
leave those
okay.
just on the side for too long, they'll start sprouting. So you can definitely know, oh, yep, those are the eyes.
And we talked about this earlier today that when they start sprouting and they start turning green, they are no longer edible. Like they have some sort of toxins in them. So anyone out there trying to, save their produce at a certain point, you got to let them go. And perhaps maybe you should just, plant them when they
Exactly.
start. Yeah.
The best way to, yeah, reuse it is plant them.
Yes. And we have a couple more greetings, Brother Justin. Can I just read a couple of them really quick before I know that we're probably starting to wrap up, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Sister Grace Flores from UC and Sister Tracy Camacho from INCRadio San Diego. Shout out from San Diego County, California. Sister Tracy, I can't keep plants alive. Yes, I can't keep plants alive either. We totally were with you on that one. We have Brother Ferdinand Fabre from Edinburgh. Let's see, we also have Brother Nathaniel Russell, oh my goodness, giving us a greeting in Spanish. Hola, hermano Nathaniel Russell. And then we also have Brother Ramil Baratang from Killeen. And he said, Happy gardening on behalf of all the green thumbs in the local congregation of Killeen. Let's see. And we also have Brother Luis Nino from Edinburgh. This is so great. We have such a great range of viewers today from all over.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sister Jamie, for reading those comments. Sister Wendy for teaching us all those trip tips and tricks when it comes to planting some of those plants. I think I might actually try some of those once this show is over. So, and of course, thank you so much to our viewers and listeners for being with us in our program, for answering our question of the day, and also for being with us in our hashtag challenge. We'll see who wins in our next program. And of course, before we wrap up our show, and yes, we're at that part of our program, but we would like to thank our multimedia advisor, Brother Archie Talents, our CFO overseer, Brother Jeffrey Domingo, our assistant district minister, Brother Chody Sampson, our district supervising minister, Brother Gino Emilio, our executive producer, Brother Emmanuel Endaya, our station manager, Brother Arnel Solano, our CFO coordinator and CEBSI CEO, Brother Angelo Arano Vimanalo, and of course, we can never forget to thank our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for all your support in these programs, Bo. And before we wrap up, Sister Jamie, do you have any greetings and shout outs for us?
Shout out to the locale of Austin who today was doing their INC giving activity. Hope everything went well with you. And thank you all, everyone, for tuning in. Also want to shout out to my friends and family out there in Northwest California. You know who you are. Sister Wendy, do you have any shout outs?
Yes, shout out to local Houston. And then also, of course, shout out to everyone who took the time to spend it with us and tuning in and leaving your comments. And thank you so much. Back to you, Brother Justin.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Wendy. And thank you again to our viewers and listeners for tuning in with us for INT Radio Texas Satellite Studio. And be sure to tune in next week for INT Radio Texas, which is every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And coming right after this, we have INT Radio South Central States. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.